Okay, recording's going. You can start. Sorry.
Okay, I'm off mute now. So I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Sylvester Lee, and I bring you greetings from Atlanta, Georgia. I have 15 years in the cybersecurity world. I've been a consultant, security architect, engineer, analyst, just about any role in the cyber realm I've played. Also have a background in project management, which uh, may come into play in some of the communication that we have over the next few weeks. Um, and I'm really passionate about cybersecurity. It's been a great career for me. I would like to know a little bit about each of you. What brings you in tonight? Are you currently a security professional? You're looking to get into it. Kind of give me a little bit of background about who you are so I can, understand the different levels that we may have as we go forward. Okay. We'll start with Cassia.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cassia. I am from Michigan. I am currently a project manager in the automotive sector. And this is um, an entry level for me. I have not, I've studied a little bit of cybersecurity, but I'm definitely at the beginning stages.
Okay, absolutely. Welcome, Cassia.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Next, Glenn.
Hi, my name is Glenn. Can you hear me or
Yes, sir. You're audible.
okay. Yeah, my name is Glenn and I'm originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but now I live in Florida. And I work in the IT help desk, just trying to make the transition into cybersecurity. So looking to learn new things and break into cybersecurity.
Absolutely. Pun intended, right?
Yeah.
All right. Jessica, you're next. And welcome, Glenn.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jessica Stovall, calling from North Carolina. I have about 2 years of SOC analyst experience as an apprentice, and at the moment, I'm just just trying to break in fully as a SOC analyst. So I'm just here to learn and keep growing in the field.
Absolutely. Okay. Welcome, Jessica.
Thank you.
Uh, Cancun.
Hi, my name is Ken Kuberry. I am from the DMV area. Currently in the healthcare field, like compliance and stuff like that, trying to break into GRC. But yeah, I'm just trying to learn and grow.
Absolutely. Nice to meet you and welcome.
Thank you.
Lee, you're up.
Okay, yeah, I had to accept all these agreements and stuff. But um, yeah, I'm mostly here just to listen in. I was on the defensive side as far as engineering Splunk before. Yeah, now I do like mostly drone hacking and testing and malware development and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just here just to listen in, get the content, see what's going on.
Okay. Welcome. Welcome, Lee. All
Yeah, well,
right.
thank you.
Absolutely. So we have quite a array of backgrounds. Um, and, so if I go over something and it seems a bit elementarily, just kind of, bear with us here. I could tell that you have a lot of experience there. So, we appreciate and welcome that. We may lean on you a little bit when we get into some of the labs that we'll be doing. We won't be doing any labs today. It's just going to be, um, conversation and PowerPoint today. But as we continue and we progress on, we'll we may incorporate you in and get you to help out in some ways. Okay. Those that are interested in GRC, those pieces, the compliance piece of it, we'll explain how this part fits into that. We'll explain a little bit of that as today. Those interested in from a technical perspective, we'll be getting more into that as we go on in the coming weeks. But today I kind of just wanted to see what everyone's idea of a SIM is, and what is their understanding of that, or even if you don't even have an understanding of it, I'm gonna kind of give you a breakdown of it in layman's terms, and we'll have some conversations to see if you see any of these tools or see any of these components in the environments that you currently work in. Okay. Um, so what we're going to be talking about is a framework, and are you guys familiar with the different frameworks like FedRAMP and SOC 2 and CMMC? Have you all heard of those frameworks?
I have.
Okay.
I have
You
not.
have not? Okay. All right. So the different frameworks or ways that organizations are measured to have something to measure their security postures up against. And, we'll look at the different components that and criteria that are looked upon in regards to those things. But it kind of just gives a basis of a baseline to work from in order to where everyone can be on the same page as far as getting graded, to get a baseline of how well your security operation runs, or how well secured is your operation. So you connecting with other organizations, they're going to want to know what your posture is. Okay. All right. So SOC 2 is one of the frameworks. It's not the most rigorous. I would say the FedRAMP is probably the most rigorous framework. And then you have your CMMC. Then you have also your NIST 853, and they have different versions of it that are very different. And this is how you come up with what your security operations is going to be measured against. Okay. All right. So let's move on. All right. Why are we talking about SOC 2? All right. Some customers trust companies with SOC 2 certifications. It kind of helps to build the trust with your organization that you're consulting for. And SOC 2 is a requirement for a lot of companies just to do business together, business to business. So I asked the question, have you run into certain criterias with your organizations that determine, hey, you have to have a certain level to do business with each other, B2B? Any any ideas or exposure to those areas? Okay. All right. So what is SOC 2? All right. So we already established that it's a security framework. Um, and it looks at how your systems are protected. The good thing about SOC 2 certification is a lot of times the auditors, they're going to look and see what you put down as your policy and procedures. So if it's something that you're not doing, we would recommend that you leave it out of your policies and procedures so that it doesn't show up as a finding in an audit. Okay. They look at how your data is handled. How are you transmitting your data through your organization? How are you storing your data? It's going to be different things in regards to that. And then they want to see how problems are detected. Like when you are monitoring a system and there is a problem, how is that trigger being executed? All right. So, all right, the SOC 2 verifies that an organization protects customer data properly. All right. That's what it is in a nutshell. All right, let's see. Who uses the SOC 2? All right. SaaS companies. SaaS company would be software as a service. Okay. You have your cloud providers. They're using SOC 2 frameworks. That would be your GCP, your AWS, and your Azure type of organizations. Financial services, they're using SOC 2. Your banking institutions, your healthcare technology companies, and a lot of any of the other companies that are storing data, a lot of them are operating under the SOC 2 framework. All right, all right, so this is where some of my compliance people, the auditors, this is where SOC 2 comes into play as far as why the SIEM is important. That's what we'll be talking about tonight is the SIEM, but this is kind of giving you a little bit of the background to why the SIEM is important. And we'll get into what the SIEM means. I think I have a slide in here for that. It's towards the end, but SOC 2 requires proof, not promises. Does anybody understand kind of what that means? It requires proof, not promises.
Yeah, so you need like screenshots and stuff like that.
That's exactly what it means, okay? All right. So SOC 2, it means that each month or whatever the cadence is that you have in your policies and procedures, you need to collect the screenshots as proof with the timestamp in the screenshot in order to serve as proof for a particular audit. Okay. And in regards to SOC 2, what we'll be looking at in regards to the SIEM would be the logs, the alerts, the monitoring, and the incident response records. Okay. All right. Let me ask the question. Are we all familiar with logs? Logs and log sources?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Because we'll be looking at different logs and log sources over the next few weeks. Alerts. All right, we understand that kind of informs us that something is taking place that we need to check on. The monitoring. Okay. What are we looking at? What do we think is important? And then your incident response records. This is how once we are alerted, how we handle an incident as it arises. Okay. And this key message is, I like this one. All right. If it's not logged, it didn't happen. Okay, that's pretty straightforward as far as, yeah, if you can't prove that it happened, then it's just speculation. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's go. Let's get past this one. Let's see. Why isn't, okay, there we go. SOC 2 trust services criteria. Okay. In security, let me ask this question. Has everyone heard of the CIA triad? Are we familiar with that? The CIA triad?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
you want to share
Yeah.
with us? Yeah. Somebody share with us what that is, okay? CIA. Okay, I'll do it since it's the first night, okay? But I'm gonna be calling on you guys, and just chime in. No worries, okay? All right, so the CIA triad is the basis, the foundation of our profession in security, right? Um, I guess Emerald, if it was the kitchen, he would call it the Trinity, right? Okay, that's pushing a little too far. All right, but the CIA is the confidentiality, the integrity, and the availability. So it's these three that we see here will make up the CIA. All right, the availability, we want to see that systems stay online or that they're available whenever we need them. Um, Systems work correctly is their integrity, and your confidentiality is your data is protected. Okay. And then I had a couple of other ones on here as far as security to prevent unauthorized access and your privacy, personal data handled properly. Okay. All right. And I'll let's go around round table as well. Which one sounds the most important? Let's start there. Which one sounds the most important? Let's go around the table. All right, Kasaya. I messed it up. I'm sorry. Miss Jackson, which one of these sounds the most important? Okay. What about you, Glenn?
I just guess like confidentiality because like to keep the data protected. So that's just it.
Okay. Okay. Jessica, which one would you say?
I'll say the same, confidentiality.
Confidentiality. All
Yep.
right, we got two for confidentiality. All right, let's go Cancun.
I feel like all of them, honestly.
Okay, that's a good answer. And that's the last. Okay. All right. I just wanted to kind of get you guys interactive a little bit and see what you have to say in regards to that one. The truth is that there isn't a specific correct answer for this one. Okay. Sometimes it depends on the organization, um, and it depends on your leader, right? um, so all of these are very important. Um, they're all very important in regards to security as it pertains to what we would like to do for the organizations that we work for. All right, the next one, security most important for SIEM. All right. you'll hear people call it a SIEM, a SIM. And what it stands for, does anybody know? I'll give it a few seconds to see if anybody can tell us what the SIM stand for, or even have you guys heard of this before?
Yes, I know what
Okay.
it is.
Okay, go for it. Tell us.
It's the security information and event management.
Okay, security, information, and event management. Okay. All right. And so many organizations use the SIM. It's supposed to be used to correlate logs together to find similar patterns to try to figure out if not the vulnerability, but if a compromise has happened. It looks at the trajectory of executables that takes place as well. So it's a lot of that goes into what makes a SIM, but it's the correlation of the events, the logs, together to try to see a picture of what is taking place in the environment. Okay. All right. So the security focuses on these. It focuses on logins. All right. This is your access. Um, Firewalls. Tell me about this. Does everybody know what a firewall is? And there's no wrong answer. We're just trying to gauge, where we are. Okay. And if you don't feel comfortable with some, like, saying some of those things, you can, just message me. Hey, I understand what that is. I don't know what this is, and then that will allow me to spend more time on certain areas to, fill in the gaps. All right. So we have malware. All right. So we're looking for malware in our organization. Um, I want to know if you know what that is. Intrusions. Okay, that was pretty self-explanatory. Okay. And all right, these are some examples as well, like failed login attempts, suspicious IP addresses, and unauthorized access. These are all things that we look at in the SIM. Okay. All right, let's keep moving. The availability. All right, we talked about this one as being part of the CIA, the triad. All right, this is pretty straightforward. Systems are running, services are reachable, um, downtime is detected. Okay. All right. In most organizations, who is monitoring these functions?
Is it a SOC analyst?
Um, the
Have
SOC
you
analyst.
said monitoring the
Yeah,
SIM?
who's watching this? And the SOC analyst could have a inroads to this. Absolutely. Absolutely. Who would be responsible for say it breaks down and the SOC analyst sees it, who are they supposed to contact? Who would you contact?
Is it our level 2 SOC analyst? I'm
No,
just
that was good.
I don't know.
Level two, probably an infrastructure engineer.
Okay.
Infrastructure engineer. That's good. So as a SOC analyst, we see something, it went red, something is down, we we catch it, and then we contact the infrastructure team. And it may be different in every organization how they're structured, right? But I would try to contact somebody on the infrastructure team and let them know that something is down, okay? All right, the process of integrity, all right? This means that, everything's working as is expected, no data corruption, no errors, okay? And the examples are application errors, API failures, that sort of thing. And if you come across these as well, uh, the contact would definitely be the infrastructure team is just the same as the availability. Okay. All right. The next one is confidentiality. All right. This is making sure that your data, that the people who are supposed to access the data accesses it. We're looking at your sensitive and restricted data and your internal documents. You want your finance team to be able to access the area for the finance and not be able to access the area for the sales. The separation of duties is a good way to understand how those things are broken out. Then there's privacy. This is focused on more of the user activity, the personal data and compliance with the data laws. Okay. And so these are the things that we would be looking at in regards to that. All right. One more here. Okay. So the SOC 2 requires the logging. We'll be collecting the logs, monitoring the activity. This is where you're able to detect the security issues and also respond to incidents. All right. The logs are the foundation for the SOC 2 compliance. Okay. All right. All right. Let's have a look at this area here. All right. So these are the different areas that we talked about in security for the SOC 2. Okay. And we have the logging category listed as well. And so we're going to go, as a part of this course, we're going to go find these logs and log them into our, get them reporting into our SIEM. Okay. Validate those things. And we'll create some incidents in the SIEM as well so we can see some things firing off and triggering. But these are the free logs that we want to get to our SIEM and be able to analyze them as well. Okay. All right. Only a couple more. Why is the SIEM critical for SOC 2? Why is the SIEM critical for SOC 2? Anybody can answer it. Why is the SIEM important for SOC 2? Okay. I would
Um,
say, go ahead. Yeah, give it to me.
um, maybe because it requires like deep investigation and of validation of security alerts. Oh,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you got to have the logs, right?
yes.
You got to have the logs. You got to be able to search the logs back. And one thing I'll tell each of you is that it's important to have a SIEM because most devices don't keep the logs, but say it keeps it for 30 days, right? After those 30 days, then how can you find out what was taking place on the system? You really can't. So being able to have a SIEM is being able to have a track record of those logs over a long period of time so that you can see activity and trends of your devices. Okay. All right, so we collect from many systems, correlate the events, detect the threats, create alerts, provide audit evidence. That's what makes it the SOC 2. All right. All right. So what questions are we able to ask? Are you monitoring your systems? And the SIM answer is yes, and here's the evidence. Okay. So what we have here is a almost like a trust but verify type of mentality. We want to have the proof that we're doing what we say we're doing. Okay. And that's how we end up with the SOC 2, the policies, the procedures, and that's how all those pieces kind of flow together in regards to that. Um, this is the tool that we'll be utilizing, and it's called Splunk. Okay. Are you all familiar with Splunk? Have you heard of it?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
Excellent. Excellent. So Splunk will be our SIM. Um, we'll be logging these event sources into our SIM. You'll be able to understand a little bit more under the hood of what's taking place with Splunk. I'll go through some of those aspects of it as well. We'll look at it from an engineering perspective, okay? And we'll look at it from a SOC analyst perspective, okay? And I would like to cover as many bases as possible, so at least you'll have an idea of the capabilities of what can take place with Splunk. And the idea behind it would be, you know, hopefully, I'm not sure if one course of 8 weeks would be something to allow for it to be on your CV, your resume, but I would definitely lean towards putting something like this on your CV once you feel comfortable with it and you can speak to it in an interview. That would be probably the main thing. Um, and yeah, I kind of just wanted to get to know some of you a little bit more in regards to what you would like to get out of this course. Uh, we can talk about that for a few minutes, and then that was how I wanted to start the course off. And next week, what we'll do is we'll dig in and we'll get our accounts created. The account with Splunk is free. So we'll get that set up next week and, get some queries and searches taking place in regards to that. And, just move it forward a little bit at a time each week. Okay. Um, but let's start with, okay, I'm gonna go to that one last. Cancun, we're gonna start with you. What would you like to learn out of this training?
Um, I just want to learn, I guess, everything because like I said, I was doing the GRC thing, but now I'm trying to figure out GRC compared to the SOC too.
Okay. So do you want to do GRC and do audits for the SOC too? Or tell me, or it's something you need to think about and research more?
I guess I have to research more now.
Okay, okay. Because yeah, there's still many different aspects of what you can do in
Mm-hmm.
regards to GRC. Um, and I'm seeing a lot of the auditors on that side of the table as well. So yeah, you have to kind of figure out, do you want to be more technical in the actual implementation and moving, or you want to you know be able to ask the questions and go find their proof. you you see how that is a big part of is the proof, the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Um, from the GRC side is, hey, we know that this is the evidence that you should be collecting. Now show it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So that's kind of the angle in regards to the GRC. Glenn,
Yes, yes.
and
Uh,
you're in IT currently.
yeah, the just the help desk, but yeah, trying to break into the cybersecurity space.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're gonna help you get there. And a lot of cybersecurity pieces start with the help desk. The help
Hmm.
desk is the first line of defense that's gonna know what's going on when there's an issue, right? So, yep, we'll help bridge that gap. Um, and yeah, you just keep at it, really.
Okay.
Um, yeah, because you just get a shot to put security on your title and you're off to the races. But it's really no different than what you're currently doing.
Hmm.
Um, it's just maybe a different perspective of actually doing the same things. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Jessica,
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
no worries. What would you like to get out of this training?
Just pretty much learning the entire dashboard,
Okay,
mainly like
dashboards.
search
Okay.
and analyze the logs and how to investigate and escalate the alerts. Is what I'm interested in, like learning, and also pretty much as far as interview, how to articulate what I learned, what I've learned. So that's
Haha.
the main thing.
Okay, okay. All right, so let's get through just the foundational pieces, and then, yeah, I can make sure that you're ready for those interviews as well. Um, Kasia, did I say that right this time? Kasia, I think I'm saying it right now. The project manager. Did you want to say something? Okay. All right. I think I have a good idea of the level of the class, the cohort this time. And what we'll do is we'll call it a night for the first go at it, and we'll meet up next Thursday. And if you have any questions, you can contact me. Danielle, she has my contact information, and I'll answer any questions that you all have as well. As a matter of fact, I'll put my personal email address into the chat as well.
Sylvester is also on the school application, so you can just send him a message there.
Oh, that's the best way to do it. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to double
You're
dip
good.
then. Okay, thank you, thank you.
No
Um,
problem. And then go ahead.
go ahead.
I was just going to say, after each class, typically, if we have enough time, we like to leave room for questions. So if anyone has any questions about his journey or just questions in general about the security space, where you are now, things like that, we'd like to be able to give you the opportunity to be able to ask those questions because it's not just a class, but we'd also like to provide mentorship. That's what we're here for. So if you guys have any questions, don't be afraid to speak up and say something um, so that you can get the help. That's what you guys are paying for.
Absolutely. And I wish I had something like this when I was starting out. Yeah, I mean it was nowhere to go. And yeah, I feel like I have a lot to give back, especially to people that look like me. Um, and so it means a lot to be able to work at this level.
If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them now before everyone breaks. I know some of you guys are moving on to the data analysis course. So speak now or forever hold your peace, or at least until next week. No questions? Okay, Sylvester, I'll let you close it out.
All right. Thank you. You all have a good night. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.